Hello.
Hey, hey, hey. Oh, God, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad. Are you on a
Good.
Bluetooth? Are you on your phone? Are you on a headpiece or anything?
I'm on AirPods.
Okay. Are they
I just put them
crystal
in.
clear? Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me. Are they
Oh,
crystal clear?
they're getting better. It's getting better. How's your day?
I think it's better than me being on speaker. So
Oh, God, please don't go on speaker.
I
Yeah.
know you didn't like it. So
You know how
I
many
didn't.
comments I got on speaker when I do these interviews and I comment about someone on speaker? You know, the first thing my son said was, "Oh my God, Dad, why you gotta sound like that?" I'm getting a lot of flack for how I sound, and it's like I don't know. I've got to find a balance and even.
How you sound or what you're saying?
There's probably a combination of both, but I think when it narrows down, I think it's how I sound because people that know me know that I'm not trying to hurt anything or anybody. So I think
Hmm.
it's more of my tone. As a matter of fact, one of my comments was, it's how I said. It was my demeanor. And
Got it.
yeah,
Okay.
and it's like I'm not sure what to do, how to do it. I'm a really nice guy. I like people, I'm a passionate guy, but I have this thing of where I feel the need to be, I guess, direct and specific. And I think I know what happened. This isn't a part of our conversation. We haven't started the clock yet. But I think what happened was I went through a transformation period of self-improvement and self-evaluation and whatnot. And it took me back to my childhood. I think, this it's become a habit, I guess, or a part of me that, I don't want to be misunderstood. And I want to make sure that I understand. I need accountability. I need certainty. So if I'm specific and direct, I know you heard me. I know you know what I said and what I meant. And maybe it just comes across a little harsh because I'm not a bad guy.
No, but one of the things you have to remember, Travis, is that not everybody's in the same place as you.
What does that mean?
Um, it means that you've done the work on yourself to get to a place where you're better. Not everybody's in the same place as you. Not everybody's in the same place of, healing and becoming a better person and trying to communicate better. Like, not everybody's on that same road as you. And you can't force other people to be on the same road as you. You have to, as much as you can change your behavior and you can change how you do things, but you can't force that on other people. And you can't hold other people accountable to your expectations of what you hold yourself because they're different. They're their own person, and you have to accept them at their own level. It's a really hard lesson, and it sucks, and I hate it. Um, but you have to accept people for where they're at.
What gives you the impression or gives anyone else the impression? Why do you think I don't?
I just was giving my own example of a situation where I can't hold accountable for understanding me and being at the same level of education in regards to acknowledgement of my own issues and what
Okay.
triggers me and what affects me. I can't expect to be in the same place and to understand that.
Okay, I think I
And
know
I
what
can't
you're saying.
expect them to understand me. I've
Right.
been in therapy for years. I have a degree in psychology. I worked in a psych hospital for 4 years with children and adolescents. My background is entirely in psychology. I've worked with adults in day treatment. I've done the gamut. And unfortunately, this past year, I've had to learn that are never going to be at the same emotional intelligence as I am because they haven't been in therapy. They haven't dealt with their issues. They haven't dealt with growing up. Most people don't go back and look at their childhood to try to be better because people don't want to be bothered. People don't want to deal with the hurt, the pain, the resolving of issues, the healing. And it sounds to me like that's what you've done. You've spent a lot of time doing that. And if you have an expectation that people are going to meet you where you're at, you're going to be disappointed and frustrated.
You just talked about the hurt and pain of childhood and going back there, and you said people don't want to do that. What do you mean?
People don't want to go back and heal their issues. Most people don't. It takes a really strong person emotionally, to want to do that.
Well, I'm not sure how strong I am, but I was forced. I had a couple of situations that, you have to find that place. Something has to put you in that place. You have to have an experience that says, okay, you know, I get to a place where I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to feel this anymore. What's causing it? And then you know, either through therapy or in my case, you know, self-therapy, I went back there and I saw a lot of things. So maybe people don't know, or they really just
no, they don't want to deal with that. They go through those same situations as you and I have been in, and they're like, okay, I'm just going to ignore that, and I'm just going to sweep it under the rug, and I'm going to go on about my life, and I'm never going to feel that again. And if something comes up, I'm just going to sweep it under the rug. Or I'm going to blow up at somebody, and I'm just going to expect everybody to be okay with it. Because I never express my feelings, and so if I bottle it up and I lose my mind on you, then you should just handle it.
Mm-hmm.
So, not everybody gets to the point that you've been in.
Well, I don't want to tip my hat or, you know, or say I've done anything special. It's just I guess I'm on another place of, you know, wanting to delve into
self-growth,
what I experienced. Yep. Say that again?
I said self-growth, self-discovery.
Well, I think what is happening now, the result of what I may have experienced, is causing me to take a look at it from a different angle. I guess, you know, as far as this conversation is concerned, I told you I kind of wanted to bring awareness to of how we process information, how we allow our feelings and emotions to play a bigger part in, you know, than reality. So although I've done that work, or at least I've started the work, and I'm still, you know, a work in progress, what I'm interested in now is trying to see, I guess, like you said, people won't be where I am, or I can't expect them to think like me, and I really don't. But whatever happened to truth being truth, reality being reality, and your feelings, thoughts, emotions, and beliefs being, you know, secondary to what's really actually happening or being said, I'm finding that most people just don't care about the truth.
They don't.
Why?
Nope, they don't. I don't know why. I have no idea.
Well, answer this for me then, since you are the psych major. Okay, right now I'm at a brick wall with how I deal with what I've gathered about myself and where I am. Because in my heart, I believe that there is no issue that cannot be solved between two people, or a group of people, or a nation, or a world, if we focus on a point of reference and basic and general principles. There are certain things that we can't change, or certain things we can't do anything about. And we have to have a point of reference. I think the issue comes when we get to a place where we don't like something, or don't like how it feels, or it's not a part of what we're accustomed to. Then that's when we allow those feelings to take part into what's real. Does that make sense?
No, you totally lost me on that.
Okay, I know. I almost lost myself.
You got a little too abstract on that one.
I know. I'm sorry. What I'm trying to say is having a point of reference has the potential to solve all issues between anyone. Being able to differentiate from reality and our emotions and our feelings is the hardest part in reaching a resolve in problems that we face. For instance, the idea that I've got to feel good or I've got to like everything that happens or that's said to me has crippled even me. Until I've done that work and I've gotten outside of it, it's okay if someone says something that I don't like. It's okay if something's going on that I don't like, or if someone is doing something I don't like. I have to look at it like this. Is it universally, principally sound? And if it is, then that's where I have to decide if I'm going to allow my emotions to determine how I respond to it, or am I going to be okay with it being it, or it is being what it is? Please tell me you understand that.
Yes. So what you're describing as feelings, Travis, is really ego. When we decide to let go of our ego because we think that our ego is always right.
Let go of my ego.
Yeah, exactly. And that everybody needs to be on the same page as, how we think and feel. Then once we allow ourselves to let go of ego and actually be vulnerable and then actually get to feeling, then that's when we can communicate and connect with other people and be courageous enough to solve issues and problems. But the problem is that most people can't get past their ego to actually allow themselves to be vulnerable, to express their feelings and open up their heart and be real and be honest and be truthful, because we're so worried about being judged and that somebody's not going to like us.
So what do you do?
We're so worried about other people's opinions that we can't get past our ego to get real with people.
So what do you do when you have a conflict? You have a conflict with someone and you have the desire to solve it with them. And again, either your own emotions or feelings or beliefs or thoughts get in the way, or theirs. When you can't find that place, how do you walk away and say, okay, well, when you look at, and I want to use the term universal principles or points of references. When you compare whatever you have a problem with to a point of reference or a universal principle, there is no room for how you feel or how you think or what you believe. Because
why is there no room? Who said that?
I'm saying it. When I say no room, I don't mean you can't complain, but you will stay in a vicious cycle if you continue to complain about things that there is no room to complain about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean when I say
that's true.
Right. So if you and I, or let's not use you and me, let's say if two people have conflict and they bring that conflict to each other, and they discuss it, there is a resolve. But the person who doesn't like the resolve will be the one that's either sore or will keep the negative energy in the air.
And if they do that, if it's you have the ability to change that. If it's the other person, that's on them. They have the ability to change it, but you don't have the ability to change it for them.
Well, I don't guess I would try to change it for them. But if you're in a business or a relationship with someone, I
think you do at times. I think you try to, because you so badly want to be understood and want to make sure that people understand you, that you do make it an issue or have a hard time getting past it if they won't come to where your thinking is. Instead of just accepting them where they are.
Why does it have to be my thinking? Why can't it just be like I said, universal thinking? I don't want to take credit for, a place of reference or a universal place of being. So when you said my place, you mean, a universal place? Is that what you're saying?
I don't tend to talk about people in general because I don't know their experiences. I don't know what they feel. I don't know what they think. All I know is what I think and what I feel. and how I view the world. I can listen to other people and understand where they're coming from, but I don't talk about the general population because it's so bizarre right now that I don't have this mindset of universal thinking. So I'm not in the place that you are when it comes to universal thinking. Because I don't believe that. I believe that people are too individualized.
So then that's the reason why there's so much chaos in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So then okay, maybe this could be, my day. Maybe I have to accept that there can be no world peace or nation peace or state peace or city peace or family peace or relationship peace, that it's impossible.
No.
It can't be.
I don't think it's impossible. There is hope for better relations among nations, individuals, families, relationships. There is hope if all parties involved want to actually grow and learn and progress together. There's hope for that. I wouldn't say, no, it's never going to happen. Not in my eyes. I at least have to have hope that things will get better.
Okay, well,
I have to have hope that I will get better. And I will be able to communicate better and interact with people better. Because I'm willing to put the work in to do better.
So where does that hope begin?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Well, I think I have the answer. I think I know where it begins. You're supposed to say, where does it begin?
Where does it begin?
Well, it begins with understanding that it's okay to not have to feel good all the time. It's okay to not like something all the time. It's okay to not be in your comfort zone all the time. You don't have to like a decision to go along with it. No?
But is that what gives you hope?
I don't
I
think
don't equate that to hope.
I think it introduces you to a place of, it does give you hope, because it's a starting place of saying, okay, if I'm mad at somebody, why am I mad at them? Well, because of what they did. Well, is it what they did or how I feel about what they did? And I'm going to give you an example, and I guess I'll start the clock on our time since we're at the top of the hour.
I was going to say, is this what we're talking about? What are we doing?
We're officially starting.
Our own tangent. And,
we're about to start right now. We're starting now.
Other than names?
We're starting now. Okay. I'm going to give you a scenario of what happened to me the other day in my other interview. And I'm going to give you the fullness of it. So I'm going to give you the best I can. So I might be talking for a little while. So you have to turn on your listening ears. I called one of my really good friends because I saw a post. She had experienced some medical challenges over the past few months. And I've been checking in with her from time to time to see how she was doing. At one point in time, I didn't think she was going to make it. She scared me. I didn't think she was going to make it considering everything that's going on. So she had started to get worse and I was concerned. So eventually she did get better, and a few weeks and months passed by. It's been a couple of months now. Well, out of nowhere, I look on, and I see this post where she starts off by saying, something in regards to, I'm in the hospital and it doesn't look good. I've taken a turn for the worse. It was something leading up to her being in the hospital. And as I started to read it, I started to get a little emotional, because it's like, wait, this is my friend. I'm concerned. I don't want her to be ill. And as I begin to read, I get towards the end to realize that it was a joke. So I was, of course, in my feelings, and I'm admitting it up front. So when I was able to reach her another day or so later, I got her on the phone and I let her know exactly how I felt about what she did. And I said, I didn't think that was cool at all. And I'm sure I may speak for some of your other family and friends that may have seen that knows that you were experiencing some medical challenges. And I just want you to know that I don't think it was funny at all. What you did was not cool and a little on the insensitive side. My tone towards her was very aggressive, and I was stern with how I told her how I felt. And she turned around like 1, 2, 3 red light. And then she said, "You're mean." And she called me mean. I am 100% sure that on this pathway to recovery in my childhood, I don't like subconsciously being labeled. So when she called me mean, that's where our conversation began, because I wanted her to differentiate whether or not I was mean or what I said was mean, and whether or not I could separate the two. And I want to ask you before I move forward, am I what I do? Yes or no?
Yes, you are what you do. Actions speak louder than words.
Well, that's a cliche and it sounds cool, but how are you concluding that I am what I do? Because let me, before you answer that, when I told her how I felt about what she did, I didn't say you were insensitive. I didn't say that I, was upset with her. I specifically said, maybe because of my consciousness of maybe name calling or labeling, I said to her, what you did was insensitive. And I think there's a big difference in how we communicate. And maybe she didn't hear it. Maybe she did what I'm talking about. She internalized it and took it that maybe I was coming at her instead of her actions. Because actions may speak louder than words, according to the cliche. But you are not necessarily what you do. What you do is a part of who you are. So when you say you are who you are, what you do, I'm not going to go against you, but I just want to kind of stand against that in saying that I don't think that is 100% accurate. Because a person can do something or say something when they're at a certain place. It doesn't necessarily mean that's who they are. It's what they did.
So this makes me think of a child who acts out or does something, and immediately a parent will say, "What a bad boy, you're so bad." When in all actuality, it was his actions. It's more about what he did. It's not him as the person that's bad.
Okay,
right?
well now it sounds like, hold on a second.
It
sounds like you just said you are what you do. You just said that. And I didn't, I wanted to correct it so we didn't go down a long path. Normally I would let you just create that and then point it out. But I think we're both on the same path now, at least. So you are changing. Are you still standing by that a person is what they do?
It depends on the situation.
Well, it is either.
Listen,
I didn't ask you about a particular situation, and not to be, rude at all. I'm just saying when I ask the question, of course, there's always exceptions to rules and there's rules. I'm speaking from a ground floor perspective. You either are or you're not. Of course, circumstances and situations are always going to be different.
It's not that black and white.
That's why I said
black and white for me.
You have to have a point of reference, and you have to have a universal mode of being, I guess, in order to resolve issues. Because if you start saying, well, it depends, you'll never get to the bottom of anything. So I'm asking you without an explanation. If you can answer it, if you can, I respect that. You just said just now, you are what you do. A person is what they do. Do you stand by that? Yes or no?
I do.
Why would you stand by that?
Because there are a majority of situations where how someone acts, reacts, how they behave is who they are.
I would like to step in before you go too far and say, can you say how they behave and how they act is a part of who they are and not who they are? It's not who they are. It's associated.
Okay, let me give you a very, very good example. Somebody who makes time. You're interested in someone and you make time to interact with them, or you don't make time to interact with them. Either one of those situations don't make you good or bad. But those situations define who you are. That's you as a person. That you either make an effort to make someone feel special, or you don't make the effort and you don't give a damn. Those are behaviors that will define who you are. But it doesn't make you good or bad.
I, not one time then, now, or in the future, will allow good or bad to have a major factor in anything I'm, I guess, examining. I never said good or bad. I'm specifically talking about a person's actions being who they are. And you are standing by that their actions, you are what you do. And I'm trying to say...
Actions define people.
Well, it may define their personality, but it may not define who they are. A person's personality is a part of them. It's not who they are.
Their personality is who they are. How did we knock that out of the equation?
I'm not necessarily.
A person's personality is who they are.
Okay, I'm not knocking it out.
There's a lot of things that make up a person, and personality is one of them.
Okay, you said it's one of them. Is it all of them?
Mm-mm.
So then how can the personality be who they are if it's just a part of them?
Because people are complex, and a lot of things.
I'm not contesting that. You didn't answer my question. So the bottom line is you're standing by, and it sounds like you're being a little contradictory. Either you are what you do or you're not. And you're saying that you are, but then in the next breath, I'm hearing you say that a person's personality is a part of who they are.
It is.
So how can it be who they are and a part of who they are?
It can be both.
I didn't say it can't be both, but
not
listen.
Black and white. There's a lot of
in
gray.
The spirit of
There's
a point
lot
of
gray.
Say that again.
And I don't live in black and white.
We're not talking about how you live, and it doesn't matter how you live. How you live is how you live, and what does that have to do with the point I'm making?
It does. It has everything to do with the point that I'm making. Is that I don't believe everything is black and white.
Whether you believe it or
my
not.
Viewpoint, my viewpoint is that people's personality makes up who they are. People's actions make up who they are.
Makes up. Your key word is really, listen, I'm trying to be specific and direct and maybe a little too black and white for you. But when you say it makes up, it doesn't mean it's who they are. Say it again.
I said, you're way too black and white.
Well, you can accuse me, you can label me however you want, and I'm okay with that. And I don't think it's me that's black and white. Black and white is black and white with or without me.
Agreed. It has nothing to do with you.
Well, why are you saying I'm too black and white?
With your statement.
Say it again.
Because you're trying to define it as it's either one thing or
I'm not trying to define anything. I'm just trying to find a place of reference of where to start.
Yes, Travis, hold on. I was speaking and you interrupted me. There it is. You're trying to hold me to one or the other. Either what people do make up who they are, or what people do don't make up who they are. And I don't agree with that.
That's not what I said.
Gray area
that's not what I said. I'm not contesting.
I am talking. Are you going to let me finish?
I'm going to let you
continue
finish,
to
but
talk
you don't
over
get
me?
to make a statement and say I said it and I didn't say that. I'm not contesting what people do makes up who they are. I didn't use the word make up. So I don't mean, hold on a second. I don't mean to, listen, I don't mean to cut you off, but you are making a statement about me that's inaccurate. I didn't say that, nor did I convey that in any kind of way.
Here's the whole thing is that this conversation wasn't about you. It was my opinion and what my answer was. So the fact that you're making it about you is where this is causing an issue.
Tell me exactly how I made it about me.
About me.
Tell me how. Tell me
my opinion.
Tell me how I made it about me.
Because you just said it wasn't black and white.
How is that about me?
You just said it wasn't about.
I didn't say. I'm not. Listen. I'm not saying. Listen. Hold on a second.
This.
You're making statements about me that I didn't say. I do have a strong favor for things being black and white. You just said yourself that I'm too black and white. So for me not to say, for you to say I said anything in regards to something not being black and white, maybe something isn't black and white, but that point of reference that I'm talking about has to start somewhere. So when I'm usually asking for a yes or a no, or I'm trying to get to the bottom of something, I want to start with where you stand firmly. And I never said that a person's personality or what they do doesn't make up who they are or isn't a part of who they are. I'm saying that it's not necessarily, or I'll even go so far to say what a person does is not who they are.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Okay, I want you to tell me
how.
My
opinion is different, and we will agree to disagree.
We're not agreeing to disagree. We're just trying to get an understanding. I want you to explain me.
No, you're not going to lock me into an answer that I'm not comfortable with.
I'm not locking you into anything. I'm just trying to get you. Listen, I'm not locking you into anything. I want you to explain how a person.
No, you want me to answer in a particular way because you keep asking me the same question and over and telling me that I'm contradicting myself.
Okay, maybe you're not, and I apologize to you.
And you're not listening to actually what I have to say in my.
Maybe I'm not, but I'm okay. Stop. Hold on a second.
To hear where I'm coming.
Hold on a second. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to stop completely because we're getting a little feisty, and I'm going to take responsibility for that. So what I'm going to do is stop. I'm going to count to 10, and I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to let you talk without interrupting you. While you're talking, I'm going to make some mental notes as to what you're saying, as if because I'm probably going to want to get a better understanding of what you're saying. So I apologize. And if you want to go first, go. If you don't, I'll keep going. But I don't want to interrupt you. I don't want you to think that I'm holding you to anything. I'm just trying to get an understanding of what you're saying, and I may need to ask you the same thing in a different way. And I don't mean you any harm in doing that. So I'm going to stop and without talking over you anymore, and I'm going to let you speak. And I apologize for over talking you a few minutes ago.
You know what? I'm going to do the same. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to give myself a few minutes. Yep. And we can start this over.
Yeah, let's try that.
Because this is becoming combative, and we're both on a defensive, and this isn't the kind of conversation that I want to have.
Of course it isn't. No one wants to, and that's why when we catch ourselves, we can start over and try to have a conversation, because two things can happen. You can tell me to where I can go get off, and we can hang up and be mad. I don't want to be mad at you, and I don't want you to be mad at me. We've had enough of those. I don't want to be mad at you, but let's talk. I want to hear you out, and I don't have to like it, but I do want to understand it to the best of my ability. So if I ask you the same question again, it doesn't mean I'm trying to lock you into anything. I'm just trying to make sure you are saying what I'm hearing and you are meaning what you're saying.
Okay. Let me have one thing, Travis, and the fact is that you can ask me questions and you can ask me repeatedly a particular question, but when you tell me that I'm contradicting myself, you're putting me on a defensive, which puts up barriers between our communication. So please don't do that. Don't come at me with judgment that you feel like I'm being contradictory. If you want to hear my opinion, ask me my opinion.
If I may, right now.
If you want to hear my answer, and my mindset, then ask me that.
If I may.
But don't come off judging me and telling me that I'm contradicting myself when you're trying to ask the same question and you're trying to get clarity. Because I understand clarity. I do not understand judgment.
Okay. Allow me to apologize and let me make a correction. If I said you are being contradictory, I apologize for that and I take it back. I will say that what you're saying sounds contradictory, and if you're taking that as the same, we may as well stop talking right now, because what you said sounded contradictory. I don't mean to judge you, only just that one small part of what you said. I don't want to call. Pardon?
No, I was going to ask a question. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. Please finish.
I will back up. And when I made a statement about what you're saying was contradictory, I did not mean you. And if I said that, I will apologize to you. And if it comes up again, I am never, ever talking about you, the person, if I make a statement about something we're discussing at hand. So, for clarity, when I said what was going on was contradictory, it wasn't about you, the person. It was about what you said at that time. So please, again, allow me to apologize. If you...
And I accept your apology.
Okay, so
and
what you said...
Hold on. Let me say that if you feel like what I am saying is being contradictory, can you please state what is contradictory to you that I have spoken? So then I don't feel like it's about me.
Okay. Well, let me say, moving forward.
I need clarification whenever you say, well, what you're saying is being contradictory. What am I saying that in your mind, what have I, because in my mind, I'm not being contradictory. So what in your mind is making me contradictory?
Okay. I'm going to answer that right now. May I?
Yes, please.
I made the statement that I don't believe people are what they do, or what they do is who they are. You said they are, and you said you were going to stand by that. A few minutes later, you said what a person does makes up who they are and is a part of who they are. You said a person's personality is who they are. And then I said, are you sure about that? And a few seconds later, you said people are made up of many things, and a personality is one of those things. So a personality is a person. From a starting reference point perspective, a personality is a person, or it's a part of a person. Or if a personality is a part of things that make up people, it's a part of the things. But to say what you said, not what you meant or what you felt, you said that a person is their personality. And you said that what a person does is who they are. And you're standing by that. And I thought it sounded contradictory when you said one time that they are, and then you said it's a part of who they are and a part of what makes them up, That's what was contradictory to me. So, with that being said, you are your personality or you're not. You are what you do or you're not. And you're saying that you're saying
it's both.
You are saying that you are, and I would like to, because you have already made your statement, how it is. I would like the opportunity to now explain how I don't believe it's not. How I'm not my personality necessarily.
Okay.
And how what I do is not who I am. Okay.
Please, I want to understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
In this particular topic.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
And I'm open to hear that.
Good. Okay. When I was a thought in my father's head, and before my mother even had an egg released, who I am was already predestined, as the country folk would say. And when that egg and that sperm connected, and that part of me was created, I was then a human being. I wasn't a thief. I wasn't a robber. I wasn't a Christian. I wasn't a Democrat or Republican. I was an embryo, a person. That's who I will always be. What the original creator of all things created. And that's just who I am. I am that I am. Now, after I was born, I began to take shape and mold into things that society has identified as labels. I was once a baby. I was once a toddler. I was once a young boy. I was a teenager. I went through so many different stages. That is who I became, and it was a part of who I am, but not who I am. I am that I am. Those labels that were attached to me after I came out of that birth canal are a part of who I became and who I still am becoming. When I am 17 years old, if I hang out with a certain crowd, and then I go into a corner store and I steal some candy bars, and I get caught and I get a police record, as an adolescent, that is what I did. That's not who I am, because who I am is still who I am. It's still what I did. I am not that. It's just what I did. So I get this police record and I go to court and they get it expunged for whatever. I'm still now considered a new person from a legal perspective or from a record perspective. I don't have that. So you might think that's who I am because you may remember that, but it's never who I was. It's still what I did. And without taking this long and drawn out any farther, the point I'm making is what you do is not who you are. It's just closely associated with you and gives identity to you, to be recognized, but it's not who you are. And I know that's heavy and deep thinking, but I am a maybe black and white, or maybe too black and white, or a principle or a reference point perspective thinking type person. So when I see a person who falls on hard times because they are hungry and they go into the store and they steal something, I can throw them in jail forever because they did something because of a circumstance. But in my heart, I know, because I'm from the same place as they are. They were created a human just like me. That's not who they are. That's what they did. And we can all be redeemed. We can all be changed with the right guidance and direction. So for me to throw a person away or give them a label because of a circumstance that they had at a certain time that they were, under some kind of duress, I don't want to say that's who they are, because people change all the time. And no matter how far you are down, I believe you can always come back. So although you can say from a psychological perspective, the word person is in personality and a personality is who a person is. Well, okay, it sounds good. And even to say action speaks louder than words, all those things, what a person does is not who they are. Which means, it lends itself to when I said, that sounds contradictory. We were talking about what you were saying. And because I was referencing you, I was talking about what you were doing or what you were saying. And you, by choice, I think, chose to say that I was calling you contradictory when I wasn't talking about you. From now and for the rest of my life, anyone that has a heart and kidneys and liver and feet and hands and a nose and they look like me, they're never going to be labeled as that's what they are. So if you hear me say something about something you're doing or have done, I am never talking to you, the person. It's about that isolated incident at that isolated time. So to close in making my statement, I will just not be against you, but it's going to be tough for me to agree that a person is what they do because of whatever circumstance they do it under. I choose to believe that we're all created the same. And I'm no different than you, and I'm no better than you. And you can give me all the titles you want. And I might even deserve to have them attached to my name based on my actions. But it's not who I am. At the end of the day, I am a human just like you. I want to live just like you and breathe like you. I have family that I love and that love me just like you. So you can call me what you want to call me because of how you think or how you feel. I am not what I do. I am not what you think I am. I am truly what God says I am, and that is fearfully and wonderfully made without any attachments to me. Thank you for listening.
And Travis, I understand where you're coming from, and I do agree with you that in those particular circumstances, which is why I made the comment to begin with, that it depends on the situation, which you just confirmed exactly what I said, which is that it does depend on the situation. No, if you steal when you're 17, it doesn't make you a thief the rest of your life. Does that experience affect you and make you? Yeah, there's two roads you can go down, right? If you steal something, you can either continue to steal to become a life career, or you can change that and you can learn from it and you can become something else. But that behavior still is a part of who you are. It affects you whether you choose to continue to steal or you could choose to not continue to steal. So that's why, to me, what you do is who you are. It doesn't define you. It's who you are, your experiences. A girl who has sex with multiple partners and one-night stands and whatever else, it doesn't make her a whore for the rest of her life, or even while she's doing it. She's going through her own stuff. She's owning her body and what she's doing and who she is. If that same girl chooses to no longer do that, she's not a whore the rest of her life. But she has that experience to make her who she is. And it either makes her stronger or it makes her weaker. Because we learn from our experiences. So to me, that's not necessarily, you define it as what you do makes us who we are.
No, I didn't.
I define, okay, that's what I heard or understood.
No, I didn't say who we are is what we do. That's what I was defending.
No. Okay, so what we do does not make us who we are.
Exactly.
I believe that our experiences, such as what we do, affect who we are.
I'm not contesting that. I'm agreeing with you on that. You're the one who's not agreeing with me that it's who we are. I agree that it's a part of who we are, just like you said. I agree that it affects who we are, just like you said. I'm not contesting anything you say except the fact that it is who we are.
Understood. We have a different viewpoint about it. When I say that what we do is who we are, because I believe that experience makes us who we are.
You believe?
Yes, that experience, what we did, has an effect on our personality.
Once again, I'm not contesting whether it has an effect. I agree with you on that.
Okay. I'm trying to explain and give more clarity to where I was coming from.
I know where you were coming from. I don't need more clarity on where you were coming from.
I don't see it as black and white in what you do makes you who
how
you
you
are.
See it or how I see it.
Hold on. Let me finish. When you ask a very hardcore black and white question, what we do is who we are. No, I told you from the beginning that I believe that it depends on the situation, which is where the grayness comes in, which is what I'm trying to explain to you, that an experience makes up who we are.
I'm not contesting that.
Not everybody, hold on, please. Not everybody goes through divorce and understands. Not everybody goes through divorce and has it affect them the same way. That my parents' divorce doesn't make me a person who will get divorced, but it affects what I do.
I don't contest
it affects
that.
Who I am as a person.
I agree with you.
So where you felt that my statement was contradictory, I'm trying to provide clarification as to where I was coming from, which is very different where you were coming from in wanting a very definitive yes or no. And I can't give yes or no answers.
Whether you can or not doesn't
because I don't
negate the fact that there is an
everything
answer.
Is yes or no.
Okay, I'm with
My
you.
answer to you was it depends on the situation.
Well, I didn't ask you whether or not
yes
it depended
no.
on the situation. That's why I said we need a point of reference and we need a place of universal to start from. When you start going into it depends, I'm not asking you about what it depends because we can talk all day on the different cases. And I agree with you. Yeah, it depends. But you have to find a place to start. If you are saying that a person is what they do, then you are really going to convict a lot of people, you know, and send them to prison like the court system does. If you think what I do is who I am, if you can't listen and stand by that, a case by case thing, or as you said, scenario, or it depends. You just said a person is what they do. And it does sound, and I'm okay. I'm gonna say right now, for the record, I'm satisfied with where we are on that. And we don't have to agree or disagree or agree to disagree. I heard you, and I
heard you.
Okay, I want to still move on
we're
about
along the same cloudy line.
I'm not agreeing to that. I'm not on a cloudy line.
Oh,
I am very clear right now.
Hold on. Let me explain why I said that. I believe we're on a cloudy line because you have your viewpoint and it meshes with mine. And I have my viewpoint and it meshes with yours. But it's not clearly defined between the two of us.
I don't find myself on any cloudy line at all. I don't believe I necessarily have a viewpoint, and we may express, you know, how we feel about a viewpoint, but I don't have a viewpoint. A viewpoint is a viewpoint whether I have it or not. So I think, again, you just said we express how we felt about it, because I don't have a point. And if you are saying you have a point, that might even be the problem. But again, I'm satisfied with where we are on that. And I'm okay with moving on, because I don't want to run out of time. And I'm so grateful for you taking this time with me. You know I love you, right? You know you're one of my super friends.
I love you too.
And this is a conversation for the sake of me exposing or even bringing awareness to, if I could be politically correct, you know, of how we process information. And what we're into right now is just proof of how that just, you know, magically happens when two people are trying to, you know, agree and even reason. But with that being said, I kind of want to move off of that part and just move on to, you know, the other conversation that I had the other day.
Sure.
When I made that, can we put that behind us for now?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Are you all hearts and minds cleared on that subject?
I'm sorry?
I said hearts and minds are clear on that subject. Can I move on to?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, my friend.
Yes, definitely.
When I expressed to her how I felt about what she did, she called me mean. Well, I didn't like the idea of being called mean. So that's where our conversation went. From that point on, I was very firm with her because I was reacting myself out of my own little emotions. And I'm going to go ahead and agree that when she called me that name, that's what kind of kept me a little bit on edge, because maybe what I did didn't feel good to her. And maybe her opinion was that it was mean, but she didn't say, I didn't like what you did, or I think you were mean. She said, I am mean. And I looked up the definition of mean, and that's not what I was created. I wasn't created mean. When the sperm hit the egg and I came through the birth canal, mean was not a part of me. So I don't take too well to being called names. And if she said what I did was mean, different story. I wouldn't have even had an argument with her. I'd have been like, yeah, okay, well, that's your opinion. I respect it. And now we can move on. But she actually called me mean, and we didn't get to finish our conversation. And I think when we do finish the conversation, I'm going to have one similar to the one we're having right now, and bring to her attention that she may have attacked me in accusing me of something that I know for sure that I am not. And I am not mean, and maybe it'll be trivial to her, but I am that black and white in that I do listen to what is actually being said instead of how I feel about it or what a person may have meant when they said it. So our conversation went on, and it kind of got a little funky, and maybe it could be opinionated too, or maybe it could be one of those things someone would have an opinion about, because I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stop right now. My brain is almost.
Let me jump in, because this is actually a really good point. This is what I brought up in the very beginning of before we even went on record, was that people are not going to be in the same place that we are. And her stating that you're mean that was about her feelings.
I know.
And not everyone is as evolved to be able to state, it's not you who's being mean, it's what you're saying is being mean to me, and it's hurting my feelings. Because that's really better communication. But
in addition to that,
not everyone is evolved. Hold on. Not everyone is as evolved and has enough self-knowledge and self-assessment to be able to realize that when they say things very off the cuff, without any thought, that they will say things that hurt other people or will trigger other people. And that's where the other person has to step back and say, okay, what is she dealing with and what am I dealing with? What are my feelings and what are her feelings? And that really wasn't an argument that should have gotten into, because you took it personally when it should have been, you know what, this conversation isn't going well. And I think it's better if we both get off the phone and let's bring this up at another time, where you both cool off and you're able to go back and say,
I must interrupt you, and I'm sorry. I did not take it personally, and if you can remember to come back to it, I did not take it personally. The truth in the matter is I didn't care either way, because I already know that I'm not mean. So I'm not going to allow you to say that I took it personally when I did not take it personally. I just wanted to make a correction. Pardon me?
According to what you said to me, that you actually went and looked up the definition of mean and that you determined that you're not mean.
Well, I didn't have to determine that. I already knew that I wasn't. And when you used the terminology, if you will, that I took it personally, I just made her, if she is going to accuse me, then I do get the opportunity to at least defend myself. So I don't know. I apologize for saying I didn't take it personally. Maybe I did take it personally. So that's another conversation. So I apologize. I interrupted you, and you were right. Maybe I did take it personally, but can I say, can take something personally and not be offended? Because it didn't affect me either way. Mm-hmm. I just didn't want her to be inaccurate about my.
But did it really not affect you? Because you continued to, as you put it, continued in a conversation that got funky because you were trying to point out to her that you're not mean.
Yeah, well, like I said, when people have conversations and they don't get aggravated and they can last through a conversation, which I hope she will. We're going to continue the conversation. She will understand my point and what I meant in that. Hold on a second. I think I have a technical issue here. Oh no, we're still good. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, I just kind of wanted her to make that correction. It didn't affect me.
But that might have been the right. That might not have been the right time to do that.
I'm not contesting that. You're right.
It
may have not, that's why we're going to have a conversation later. I do want to finish the conversation with her to let her know that her statement could possibly be inaccurate. That I was not mean. And if I may, can I just give you my opinion of what I think may have psychologically or emotionally happened?
That doesn't really matter or factor into.
I know, that's why I ask your opinion. I'd like to.
Well, my opinion is that doesn't factor into it.
I know, but
that doesn't factor into our conversation.
I'm asking you if I can factor it in. I know it doesn't. And if you say no, I'll just keep moving and let you keep talking. But I wanted to tell you my thought of how it may have gotten twisted. But it's okay if you don't want to. I'm the facilitator, but I respect, your lack of interest in what I have to say.
How would you know I have a lack of interest?
I don't, and you have the opportunity
to
correct it. I said it, and if I'm wrong, I will stand corrected. That's what it seems like. And
you are very wrong. So those questions you need to ask. Don't make a statement that
you're
says
right.
Your lack of interest. How do you know what I'm feeling?
I don't. I don't. I did exactly what I'm accusing. I made that statement out of what it looked like, and this is if I'm wrong, I stand accused and corrected. Take me to prison, drag me off, and give me my time. I was 100% inaccurate.
Trying to point out that correct, you are inaccurate.
Okay, well then maybe are you interested
about how I feel? That's not really fair.
I agree with you.
Want me to make an assumption about how you feel? Would you prefer if I asked you, hey, are you not really interested?
Well, you just said it didn't matter. I didn't have to ask you. You just told me that it didn't matter.
No, I didn't say it didn't matter. I said it doesn't pertain to our conversation.
Okay, well, you said it didn't pertain to our conversation, and if that doesn't translate,
I did not say it doesn't matter. I said it doesn't pertain to our conversation.
Okay, you're right. You got me.
Conversation.
You're right. I apologize. I'm sorry. Well, I would like to. So, are you interested in something that does not matter or doesn't factor in? Because I'd like to say it.
If there's something that you need to say in regards to this, please.
Well, yeah, it is. That's why I ask you. So, are you interested?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Tell me what you have to say.
I think when I brought it to her attention that what she did, was what she did. My opinion about it was a little insensitive and maybe even inconsiderate to people who are concerned about her. Although it was a joke for her, and maybe some people were not bothered by it. I think the manner in which I expressed to her how it's very possible that she could have been a little insensitive. Maybe she did think that it was a mean gesture, because if someone is ill and then they pretend to be even more ill, even if it is a joke, it's just a distasteful joke. And I think that was my exact words to her. I told her it was distasteful. I think she realized that maybe what she did was mean, but then she needed to, I don't know, point that back at me in some way, instead of just saying, okay, you might be right, because we wouldn't have gotten into a back and forth if she had acknowledged that I had some validity in what I was saying. But instead of taking the responsibility for, just even my opinion or how it could even possibly been accurate, she started saying that I was mean, and I didn't want to be accused of being mean. And as I didn't accuse her of being insensitive, I said what she did was insensitive. So I'm done with that.
This is where I will say that, again, we have to remember where people are in their lives. And one thing that I would ask you to look at in yourself is, why are you trying to speak for her family and friends? Which is what you're saying you did, was that you felt like other people would find it insensitive as well.
I said they could have.
Who are
I didn't
you?
say they would. I said they could
Okay,
have.
but who are you to speak for her family
I
and
am
friends?
not speaking for someone's family friend. I just said they could have, and that's not speaking for them. If I said they
But if
did,
you bring it up,
I did
but if
bring
you
it up,
bring
and
it up-
I am not contesting that I brought it up. So if you're telling me I'm not worthy of bringing it up, then I'll stand accused of that. But I didn't speak for her family
no,
and friends.
I'm just saying, to be clear in communication, you talk about you and how you feel. You don't blame other people. You don't.
I didn't blame anyone.
Talk-
I didn't
No, no,
blame
no.
anyone. I can talk.
I got that. Hold on. You didn't blame You didn't blame.
Well, then
anyone.
don't say I don't. Then
And you
don't.
tried to spoke. No, I was speaking in general terms
Well, no, you didn't.
when I said, yes, I did.
Okay, maybe you were. Okay, I just want to make it clear that I didn't blame anyone and I didn't speak for anyone.
But you implied that you were speaking for other people.
Well,
by
implying
saying
and implying
other
and
people.
doing so is not the same thing. So I did not speak for anyone else.
Okay.
And if you think I implied that's your opinion, and I respect
I
it.
do think that you implied.
Well, you can think that all you want
implied
to.
that other
I'm
people
letting you
feel the
know
same
that I
way
did not.
you did.
I understand. I'm letting you know that I did not speak for anyone else.
That's what you presented.
I what?
That's what you presented.
I
Is that you were
presented, yeah,
speaking on
I
behalf
did.
of other
I
people.
did suggest that someone else could have, and that also means
But
that they
who are
could.
you to speak? That's my point. Is who are you to speak for other people that you don't know how they?
I
felt
wasn't
about her
speaking
post?
for
It's
someone.
social media.
I didn't speak for
But
someone.
you implied it.
I did.
Again, you implied it.
And I have the right
if you
to
want
do
to
that.
be clear in your communication,
Don't
imply things.
I can do. Listen, I can say what I want to say. How someone receives it is still another thing. But I did not speak for anyone. That's the only thing I'm standing up for right now. I definitely did not speak for anyone. And if you say I did, I will stand firm and say I did not speak for someone. Yes, I did say that someone
I'm not
else
saying
could
you
have.
did
And
or
I'll
you
say it
didn't.
again.
I'm telling you, you implied it.
Okay, well then I'm not
saying you did,
that's a
and
matter
you did
that
not.
is a
You're
matter
telling me,
of
and
perception.
I trust
That is a matter
that what
of
you're
perception.
telling
If
me-
you want to say I implied it, someone else can say I didn't imply it because I didn't say it. I just said they could have. The word could has a meaning
But why would you bring it up to begin with?
because I wanted to. I
Why
wanted
would
to
you
add
bring it up?
validity to
What
my
difference
point.
does it make if anybody else thinks the
It
same
doesn't
way
make
you
a
do?
difference. I'm agreeing
make
that it
them
doesn't
more
make a
wrong?
difference. I'm not saying it does. I wasn't saying that it made a difference.
The fact that you brought it up does say that it makes a difference.
No, it
And you
doesn't.
implied.
Okay, well then now that we're having the conversation about it, I'm telling you, you suggest that it implied, and I agree, you have a choice to decide if I was implying that. I was saying to you,
Can I stop for just a second? I need to ask you a really heart question. This
what
is
kind of
really
question?
Key. Heartfelt. This
Heartfelt.
is really key. Do you believe that communication is about what you say, or is communication about what the other person understands
I believe it's definitely both.
that you say?
I think it's both.
So it's just as, are you telling me that it's just as important for you to communicate what you think and feel as it is for the other person to understand and comprehend what you are thinking and feeling?
I do.
Is that what you're telling me?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
The fact is that you said something that she would have implied that you were speaking on behalf of a group of people that you have no idea what they think and feel. So that implication means nothing because you're stating to me that that's not what you said.
I'm stating
I simply told you
what I'm
hold
stating.
on. Hold on. I simply said to you at the beginning of this was you might want to look at the fact that you were trying to speak on behalf of other people.
I was trying to, or I was.
Hold on.
I asked you a question. You made a statement. I want clarity. Was I trying to, or did I?
Oh, hold on. Can I finish?
Yes.
If you listen to my entire statement, you might understand where I'm coming from. But if you continue to interrupt me, you're not going to understand where I'm coming from.
That's possible.
So I started this conversation by saying that you implying something she's not going to understand. It may not be what you meant, but the implication is that she didn't understand, and you were talking for a lot of people. And my statement was, you as a person, if you want to communicate, if your whole goal is to be understood and to understand other people, then you might want to make sure that you are only talking about yourself and your feelings and your thoughts and your beliefs and your opinions, and not grouping it in with a bunch of other people that you have no idea what they think and feel.
I agree with you on that.
Even if it's implied.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you 100%. Now, I would like to speak on what I think you may be accusing me of. And this is just a
I'm not accusing you of anything.
I said what you may be.
I made a suggestion.
Okay, and I respect it, and I told you I got it, and I receive it. Now, I have a question for you.
Please.
It's a yes or no question. Does the word could mean anything to you, and does it make a difference at all in a statement? Yes or no?
I don't believe that in those situations.
I didn't ask you what you believe. I didn't ask you what you believe. I asked you, first of all, for a yes or no question, and if you don't want to answer yes or no, that's your prerogative. But I'm asking...
Please ask me the question again.
Okay. I will. Thank you. The word could, does it mean anything to you? And does it make a difference in a statement? Yes or no?
No.
It does not make a difference in a statement? If I use the word could, it does not make a difference in a statement and it doesn't mean anything to you? Is that what you're saying?
If I have to give a hard yes or no?
No, you do. It's no if in it. Before I ask you for the third time now, I'm asking you, does the word could mean anything to you?
And I said no. So you asked me again.
I did ask you again, and I'm trying to make sure, without all of the chatter, I'm trying to make sure I'm hearing you what you're saying.
What I'm saying, and I've made it clear. Could does not have an effect on a statement.
Wow.
To me, it depends everything else in the sentence. And the reason I tell you that is because in legal language, the way you say something when it's written can make a difference.
I don't contest that.
Difference.
I just.
So I'm going. If you're going to ask me that, then I'm going to say no. It doesn't make a difference because in general conversation, no, it doesn't make a difference because it matters by what was said before the could and after the could.
Well, I didn't ask you about before or after a could.
I know you didn't.
Well, then that's why you telling me.
I answered your question with my knowledge. No, it does not have an effect.
Wow. Incredible. So the word could doesn't even need to be in the dictionary according to that logic. It doesn't even mean anything.
You didn't ask me that. No, sir. Did you ask me if the word could should be in the dictionary?
I didn't say I asked you. I'm saying according to that logic, it doesn't need to be in the dictionary because you saying it doesn't make a difference.
I'm sorry. You're again making an assumption of my thoughts, feelings, and beliefs.
I haven't made an assumption of anything. I said based on the logic, not you. That logic, not you. That assumption was not about you. It was on that logic.
I'm agreeing with you. It's my logic. You're assuming by my logic that I don't.
Right, but not you.
In the dictionary.
But not you. Not you. Based on that logic that you just explained, that could does not make a difference in a sentence or a statement. That it doesn't make a difference. Based on that logic, it has no meaning.
You didn't say in a sentence. You said in a statement.
In a statement, a statement is a sentence. A statement and a sentence.
Okay, let's break it down even further. Are you asking me in a verbal statement, or are you asking me in a written sentence?
I'm asking you in a statement, whether it's verbal or written.
No,
does the word could make a difference?
Okay, then there's a difference. If you ask me in a written statement, a written sentence, yes, it makes a difference. If you ask me in a verbal statement, no, it doesn't make a difference.
Wow. Okay. Well, from a legal perspective, it may not make a difference, but from a moral perspective, maybe it does. And if your answer is no, as you just said, you had to have a clear shot, yes or no, and that's what I ask you. The word could does not make a difference in a statement for you. Then, okay, that further just lets me know where you are, and it's not good or bad, and all you're supposed to get an understanding, and I understand your perspective on statements. So when I say the word could, I may as well be saying, yeah, you are going to jail, instead of saying you could be going to jail. So if I say you could be, I know moving forward that you are insisting that I mean you are going to jail. And that's not the same thing. If I say you could go to jail, I'm not saying that you are going to jail.
This is where you want to talk about universal standards, and there is no universal standard.
Really?
There isn't.
I didn't say standards.
And this is where I said, you said could in a statement. That doesn't define anything. I told you it depends on what's said before and what's said after.
Well, I'm not asking you about that. I agree with you that if it's before or after.
You want me to answer a very generic question that you're going to apply to everything across the board. Not fair.
Well, I'm not necessarily. Say it again.
You're asking me to answer a question on a very specific word, but then you're applying it to every situation by what my thoughts, opinions, and beliefs were.
No, I didn't. I didn't get the opportunity to apply it to anything before I wanted to apply it to anything.
You immediately said, so your logic, you said that logic means should not even be in the dictionary.
And I did, and based on that logic, if you say it doesn't,
you asked me to answer you in a yes or no.
I know,
answer,
and if you said based on that logic,
fair. You can't have one thing and apply it to everything.
I'm not. I haven't applied it to. I have not applied it to anything.
Yes, you did.
What did I apply it to?
Said, if I told you are going to jail or you could be going to jail, you're going to tell me it doesn't matter either way. No, actually, I told you what you said before it and what you said after the word could makes every difference. But you didn't want to hear that because that's too iffy for you.
It's not that I didn't want to hear it. I did hear it, but I did hear it. It's just not. I didn't. It's not what I asked you. I don't care if you say it 50,000 more times. It's not what I ask you. And you can say it in a time now, and I will agree with you that it matters what happens before and after the statement. I wasn't talking about before, after.
You ask a question that says yes or no.
Say it again.
How can you ask a question that you demand a yes or no answer?
I didn't demand anything. I asked you.
Yes, you did. You said it was a yes or no question.
It was, but it was not a demand. You had a choice to not ask it, and I also made it clear. I said,
and I didn't.
I said you don't. If you can't answer yes or no, I understand that. It wasn't a demand. Don't say I made a demand when I didn't. I did not say I made a demand. I made a request, and I even followed it up. Prefaced it with you. If you don't have to. I just like knowing where I'm going before I get there. So I will know that regardless of where we end up, because I know whether it's
black and white situation, so that you can completely understand what's clear to you and not what is actually clear to the other person in the way that they're.
Well, that's why you have communication.
What they actually believe, because you're asking for something so minuscule compared to the overall worldly view of things. It's really unfair how you ask questions.
Maybe it is. I'm not trying to be fair when I'm trying to get to the bottom of something. I'm trying to get to the bottom, and that's still your opinion.
To the bottom of something.
I respect your opinion.
To the bottom. My opinion?
You said I'm not fair, and I said, okay, I respect that. That's your opinion. I don't have to be not fair because you don't think I'm fair. I respect it though, and I
What you are
understand it.
asking, excuse me, you need to step back and listen. I did not say you are being unfair. I said what you are asking is being unfair.
Okay, well, I'm still not contesting that. What if you say what I'm asking is unfair, that's still your opinion. And I respect it. Fully. 100%. Are you upset now? Because I'm a little smiling. I find it's like right now, I found myself a little tensed right now, but in my heart, I just want to clear the air. I promise I'm not mad at you personally at all. I'm a little tense because of the conversation, but I don't hold no grudge against you because this conversation got intense. You know, I don't.
No, it's not about you. I am feeling frustration. There's a lot of reasons that I'm feeling frustration right now, and it's because you ask me questions and then don't wait to hear my answer. You interrupt me consistently.
Well, we're not going to die tomorrow that I know of. You can still answer your question
and continue to talk over me because it means nothing. If you want to interview people, you got to listen to what they have to say.
Well, I think I have listened to what you have to say. If you don't think I have, why don't I set a timer right now and don't talk for as long as you want me to set the timer? But we are having a back and forth.
No, it's called mutual respect communication in the fact that I let you speak and then you let me speak and you wait and you listen to what I have to say and I wait and I listen to what you have to say because that's respect.
Are you suggesting that I am disrespectful?
That's opening my mind to be able to hear where you're coming from.
Are you suggesting that...
Because what you say is important as much as what I say is important.
I agree with that. I agree with you. I'm not contesting that. I wish you weren't frustrated, though. I wish something I said would not have frustrated you, because I wasn't my intention. I know that my communication style does that. You're not the first one. That's why I'm recording these conversations, so I can listen back to myself, and maybe the world may dig these up 55,000 years from now and say maybe I was onto something, or they might call me crazy. But my reason for understanding that my reasoning frustrates people, and the fact that I want to delve into it to try to get a better understanding by documenting it, says a whole lot. And
learning is always a good thing.
Say it again. Say it
again.
I
just said learning is always a good thing. I just said learning is always a good thing.
Yeah, well, that's all I'm doing. And to try to bring a close to this, my reason again for wanting to have these conversations is because I'm aware that people say things that they don't mean, and they sometimes mean things that they didn't say. Sometimes people will hear something that they may take a different way. And I think when you have conversations that can make it till the end, you know, you can have a better understanding, even if you still are frustrated. So all I wanted to do was expose or bring awareness to. I keep using the word expose. It seems to have a negative connotation. But I want to bring awareness to different communication styles, how we process information. We answered the phone and we were kind of cheerful, and we kind of went up and down in a roller coaster because of the way we processed that information. And the truth in the matter is, my God, if you needed the shirt off my back, I would give it to you right now. I'm not holding you, hostage for anything that you said or didn't say or implied or didn't imply. And I have no grudge against you. But again, we get mad at people because we don't like how we feel, and frustration is not a good feeling. So I hope that you can find it in your heart, even through your frustration, to still see me as God's child and not anything you could label me as, whether it be unfair or...
Can you ask me how I'm feeling first?
I could, but that's not what I'm doing right now. If you want to voice that, if you want to tell me how you're feeling, so be it. I'm just covering myself and saying that I don't feel anything against you in any kind of way. And through your frustration, because you're the one said you were frustrated, I am not frustrated in the least manner.
So keep it to how you feel, and then ask me how I feel.
Well, I
know you want to fix me, and you want to make sure that I'm okay.
Well, no, I want to ask you if you are. I'm not trying to fix you.
Okay, so then ask me. Don't make
well, when I get around to asking you, I will. I haven't gotten around to it yet. Are you in a hurry for me to ask you how you're feeling? Okay, how are you feeling?
No. I want you to not make statements that express a feeling that I may be having or not having. You don't get to tell me
what I can make an expression on. You can choose how to respond to it. And I was not making a statement.
That's where I don't agree with you.
It's okay if you don't agree.
I don't get you make a statement about your feelings.
I can make a statement about anything. There's something called free speech, and I can speak on how I want to speak. If you don't want to respond to it, then that's your choice. I can speak on how I want to speak. And again, if I'm saying something, are you offended by what I said? If you are offended, then I'll apologize. If you think I meant to harm you or hurt you, then I will apologize.
If we're going to use this as a learning tool?
No, we are going to. No if. It is definitely a learning tool. It was a learning tool before we started. So there's no if and in it. It's definitely a learning tool.
Okay, so then I'm asking you to be as open to listening to things that I suggest and say as I am to opening my ears and my mind to listening to what you have to say.
I can assure you.
I know. But you don't.
Okay. That's your opinion, and I respect it.
Made a suggestion, you've come back at me and said, I can say whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. Well, I already know that.
I didn't hear you. Your phone went out. Say that again. What did you say about nobody knows that? Hello?
Hello?
I lost you for a second. Did something happen? Did your earpiece go out or something?
No, not that I'm aware of. I heard everything that you said. It wasn't on my end.
Okay, no, it could have been the phone. Could have been, could have been anything. I'm going to make a suggestion that we land the plane. I have
Good
definitely
idea.
Say it again.
I said that's a great idea.
Yeah, this is your pilot speaking. We are about 20 minutes away from the landing strip at the airport. I want to thank you for flying with us, and as you make your way to your destination, be careful out there. However they say that. Thank you for flying.
Yeah, thankfully it's not raining. Yeah.
Say it again.
I said thankfully it's not raining. No storms today so far.
No.
At least not up here.
All right, so let me test your skill on changing the subject before we leave. Let's change the subject.
Okay.
You want to change it, or you want me to change it?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I want you to.
Wait. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I need...
You what?
I need to state to you that I can say I'm feeling frustrated. I'm frustrated with how things have progressed. I'm frustrated with the conversation. But how I feel about you doesn't change. And that's where trust and loyalty and love begin, because I need to feel safe enough that I can say anything I need to say to you, and you're still going to love me, trust me, and know that I'm loyal to you.
Oh my God.
Because I know that about you.
If I didn't think my lips would rot off, I'd kiss you right now.
Hold on. To know that about me. And when you make statements that say, I hope that you don't have any anger towards me, or you don't feel differently about me because of this conversation and because you're frustrated, I ask, please don't label my feelings. Please don't label me. Please don't make any assumptions. If I say I'm frustrated, I'm simply telling you I'm frustrated. I actually did express to you what I was frustrated about, which was about the fact of our communication. It had nothing to do with you.
You better not. I don't know where you live, but I'll find you. You better not like me because of no daggone conversation.
We have, in my opinion, do I think it's completely, do we have a solid foundation? No, I think we still have to work on that because we're such new friends. But I have enough trust and love in you that I know that you accept me for who I am, and I know that you accept me and love me for who I am.
You better
now, whether we
that.
ever speak again or we speak a million more times, it doesn't matter because I wouldn't have entered into this interview or this conversation with you if I didn't think that we could get past it and not hold it against each other.
Guaranteed.
Because I don't hold anything against you.
I know.
And when I get heated, it's because I am actually just as passionate about things as you are. I just express them in a different way, and I feel them in a different way.
I know.
And when I get riled up, it doesn't take much because I am so passionate and I feel things so much. That my voice gets high and I'll get really nervous and my voice will shake.
I understand that about you. I know that. And I promise you, as your brother and as your friend, if I was close by you right now, I would hold you so tight just because I love you. Because I know this conversation got you a little riled up. And it got me riled up. I guess my skin is a little thicker, and that's probably why I'm doing this, because it used to get me like that, and I can totally relate. And there is definitely no love lost. And I guess, if we had a big audience out there, they would be like, "Oh God, shut it up already," because now we're just patching each other up, And I receive that, and that's for a lifetime. I don't make too many commitments in my life. And I've only made a few, but I can promise you that commitment to be your friend and not hold anything against you forever, regardless of what, unless you physically harm me intentionally, I'm probably...
That's different. You and I are on the same page.
Yeah.
We're on the same page. And I just have to ask you, please, that's really, it's such a great... If you listen to therapists, if you listen to psychologists, if you listen to life coaches, they all say the same thing. Don't assume somebody's feelings. Don't talk for other people. Keep it all about you. I can say I'm frustrated, and I can tell you what I'm frustrated about. But don't make assumptions about how I'm feeling. Please always ask me. Because that's really hard. It puts me on a defensive that I don't want to be on. I don't want to have to defend what you say. Defend myself against what you say, what your statements are.
I get that. I
don't want you to defend yourself against some stupid comment that I think is what you think and feel. I don't want that. That's what breaks down communication.
I know.
Is when we make assumptions and we make statements that we're trying to speak for other people.
I get that.
It's not fair.
I agree. I agree. By chance, if we were a married couple, we'd probably get along real good.
We would.
I think so.
We'd have really hot.
But I don't like you. I don't like you like that, though. I don't like you like that.
Did you hear me?
What'd you say?
I said you said if we were a married couple, we'd get along really good. And I said, yeah, probably. I said, we'd have really hot.
Oh my God. You know, we're ready. We're live right now, right? You can't be saying stuff like that.
Sorry.
Say that again.
You told me we were done.
No, I didn't. We're not done yet. We're done with the conversation. We're still. This is like done. This is what I call the benediction. We're closing out. But yeah, that's how personalities go when people, are committed to each other, and that's the place they're in. I gotta now stay away from you now because I know, how you're thinking.
Oh wow, really? Really?
Not because of what I think. I heard you say it, so I'm not passing it. I heard you say it, but maybe you have a point.
I think when people have, I just said if we were, it'd be really hot.
I know the definition of if. I wasn't born yesterday. I get it, and I want to say I agree with you, but we're live on the internet, and I don't want to say that.
But if it was any other time, you'd be like, "Oh, girl, I'd be pounding you right now."
Oh my God, you can't say that. Oh
sure
my God,
I can say whatever I want.
Okay, hey, listen. We have that's not where we are. We can talk junk to each other, but we are friends. So maybe I wouldn't have said that.
You can edit whatever you like.
I am not going to edit anything. I'm live, and this is going to make the reel. The only thing is, well, I won't even say the only thing is. But anyway, I can't thank you enough. I almost don't want to let you go. Hey, you better talk to me. Don't leave me out there like that. Hello?
I'm okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't want to let you go. I enjoy conversation in general, but there are some people that I enjoy talking to even more, and you are one of them. Oh God, we're starting up again.
Yeah.
Thank you for being my friend.
Thank you for giving me the time to voice my opinion.
You got to talk up a little bit. I'm losing you. You getting soft on me.
Okay, sorry. I said thank you. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to express my opinion and my thoughts and beliefs and my viewpoints. It's nice to be heard. So thank you.
Well, I know that I could have done a little better at hearing you, but I did make an effort and I did hear you. And just for the record, this is probably going to be one of my shows one day. And I heard one of my pastors at my church, associate pastor, say this. And she said, you have to listen to a person's heart. You have to listen to their head, and you have to listen to their mouth. Maybe even in that order. So I heard your heart, I heard your head, and I definitely heard that mouth of yours. So I am able to, categorize the three and still come out with, a sound mind and an appreciation for your energy, for your personality, for who you are. And that is nothing but the greatest that could have been created. Because like myself, I know that you too are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Thank you.
All right, I'm getting ready to turn the tape off right now.
Awesome.
Okay.